Hey, what's going on, guys? As you can probably tell, I am on a treadmill right now, doing a little bit of cardio, and I figure, as I mentioned in a previous video I just posted, I might as well update you guys with how everything's been going, what I've been up to, training, diet, all that kind of stuff. So, if you don't know, in the last 2 months, I've competed in a bodybuilding and physique competition. I've always wanted to, just finally building up the confidence to do it. I decided about 22 weeks ago now that I was going to diet and see how it went. I'm 21 now, and most competitions have a juniors division that's 21 and under, and I figured, I might as well take advantage of that while I still can, and just see what happens getting on stage, see how everything goes, see how I get judged, and then go from there. So the first competition I did was October 24th, I believe, and it was with the UFE Ultimate Fitness Events organization. It was UFE Halloween Mayhem, one of their bigger shows that they do every year, and I did the fitness model category. So it's basically physique, but as you'll see in the photo here, I have to wear short spandex, so not quite the board shorts that most mainstream physique shows do, but you wear short little spandex so you can still see your legs, so you don't get off with not training your legs and avoiding squats and all that stuff. You still got to train them hard because you get judged on that, but they look for more of an athletic look, something that's going to be, a physique that they could see featured on magazines like Men's Fitness, Muscle and Fitness, and all that kind of stuff. So not crazy jacked up like bodybuilders, but you still got to be lean and stuff. So I hopped into that show, registered and everything, dieted for 18 weeks, which is way longer than I needed to, but I didn't know and I wanted to come in prepared, so I gave myself that extra time to do so. So 18 weeks went by, hopped on stage, and ended up coming second place. Really happy with that. As much as I wanted first, I was really happy. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have, I picked the brains of people that had competed before and stuff, and got a little bit of tips and tricks from them. But as far as someone telling me, okay, you need to do this, this, and this, I didn't have that. I went in it by myself, used my own knowledge, and you know what? I feel I looked pretty good on stage, and I came, the placing showed it. I came second place to a guy who had competed prior, much more experienced than I was, and couldn't have gone better, in my opinion. I was happy with how I looked and happy with how I did. I saw the judging scores actually got put up today, and I was only 1 point behind him, behind the guy that got first. So that's pretty cool to know. He didn't beat me by a landslide. He just squeaked ahead of me. But you know what? It was a great first experience, and it's something I'll never forget. I was the youngest by 4 years. So you know what? It is what it is. After that, I had found out that they were doing a special with the UFE that I was with, this competition for. They were doing a joint venture, I guess you could say, with the NGA, which is an American organization, the National Gym Association or something like that. And they were having a show on November 7th. And anybody that did the did the UFE show got entry for free into the NGA show. So you save like $200. So I was like, I was back and forth on whether or not I was going to do it, but I decided, hey, why not? It's free. What's 2 more weeks of dieting? We can handle it. So I took the savings that I made, that I would have got from saving money for entry, and put it towards 2 extra divisions. So you can enter as many categories as you want. So there's bodybuilding, there's physique, there's all kinds of stuff. but it cost extra to do so. And each one was 50 bucks, I think. So I entered 3. So in the NGA show, I got free entry to the physique category, which you had to wear the board shorts. And then I wanted to do junior bodybuilding, because again, it was 21 and under, and I'm 22 in January, so I figure, all right, might as well do it. And then open weight class bodybuilding, so broken up into weight classes. Whatever weight you are, that's the class you're in. So I paid for all 3 divisions, and I dieted down. They told me, the one guy I was talking to at the first show I did, he said, if you're going to do bodybuilding, you need to be a little bit leaner. So I hammered the cardio, kept really close touch on my diet, and lost, I think, between 4 and 5 pounds in the 2 weeks between the 2 shows. So on stage for the first show, I think I was around 150. And then on stage for the second show, I was like 145, 146-ish. And as you see here, I was definitely leaner, and I was really, really happy with what I brought to the stage that day. And it showed because I took first in physique, junior bodybuilding, and the open bodybuilding class that I was in. So, you know, that couldn't have gone better. I was really, really happy with that. And I'll show you some photos right here. Everything was just on point. Everything was good. I was happy with what I did. I competed with people a lot older than me, and I was just happy with how I stood up to them on stage. I don't think it could have gone better. So that brings me to the main point of this video, is my plans moving forward. Right now, I am bulking / building. I'm trying not to get too heavy. I think this morning I was around 160, so I put on about 10 pounds since the show. And this past week, I tested all my maxes for the squat, bench, and deadlift, the big 3. I hit 365 on the squat, and I went right to the floor. I think if I would have stopped at parallel, I could have got more weight on there. But I wasn't used to training, like having that heavy weight on my back, so I don't know if my body just wasn't prepared to stop it at parallel or what, but as you can see in this video, I went all the way to the floor, and you know, oh well, I was you know, kind of disappointed. I wanted the 400 again, but you know what, I'm a little bit lighter than when I hit that 400, and I went a lot deeper than what I was when I did the 400. So that's where the squat's at. Bench press, I hit 300, as you'll see here. That was kind of rough. The bar was, you know, not traveling very straight, but again, I hadn't lifted heavy in probably 2 months, just because it wasn't the method I used when I was getting close to the shows. So, you know, that was the first time I've lifted probably over 200 pounds in the bench press in 1 or 2 months. So that's okay with the bench press. That's something I want to improve on. And then, what's today? Sunday. On Saturday, just yesterday, as you'll see here, I tested my max deadlift and hit 475 on the sumo, which is, you know, an area I wanted to bring up. I did the conventional deadlift for a long time and then learned about the sumo, so I tried to bring that strength up, and I got 475, so that hasn't dropped. That stayed the same, but I am at a lower body weight than when I hit that first 475. So relatively speaking, that was a PR, which is pretty cool. So those are where my numbers are at right now. Right now, I'm going to work on bringing those up while maintaining. I might let myself get up to 165, but I would like to stay where I am and just watch the strength go up and try to put on a little bit of size and as minimal body fat as possible. Reason being, just because I'm looking towards competing in April again, but also on the back of that, in June or July, I want to do my first powerlifting competition. And the weight class I want to be in, I think goes up to 162 pounds. I think that's the high end of it. So if I can float around 160 and get my strength way up, then that'll be optimal. I was looking at the records right now because I'm very forward thinking and I'm very goal oriented. So not only do I want to compete and win the competition, but I was also, okay, well, let's see what it would take to set an Ontario record for the Ontario Powerlifting Association. So right now, as it stands, if I remember correctly, the bench press record is 308. The squat is 465 or 467, something like that. And the deadlift is 513 or 517, I think. So I think they're attainable. The bench press, you're probably thinking, oh, well, you did 300, what's 308? 308, and in the powerlifting world, they have to pause for a split second before it gets called up. So you don't just go down and up in one quick motion. That pause completely removes the momentum. So that's something that I need to start training in that method, not just like benching like a bodybuilder just to get, the pump, but also throwing that pause in there and teaching myself how to explode out from the bottom of the movement, because that's what's going to have to happen on the platform. If I go up and down, it'll be called a mislift, and it won't count for anything. The deadlift, I think, is definitely attainable when I start pulling conventional again, which I will do this week to see how that's doing. And the squat, it needs work, but I think it's within sight. Whether or not I set a record will remain to be seen until the show or till the meet, but I think my numbers could hold up and allow me to place well at the meet, especially because I just got a weightlifting belt, so those usually add like 10, 20 pounds to your lift immediately just for the extra support they give you. So that is something I'm going to test out this week to see how it goes. Also, there is knee wraps and all that stuff that completely changes how your lift goes. Just extra support, extra strength that helps you in the movement. So that's going to be something that I will start applying to my workouts and hopefully see some good results. So the training is West Side. It's a West Side method. If you've ever heard of it, you basically have 2 days, an upper and a lower, that are max effort days. So you pick an exercise and you go for a max each week. So on a lower body day, it's going to be a squat variation or a deadlift variation, whether it's high bar or low bar squats, wide stance, close stance, all that is up to you. Same with deadlift variations, whether they're deficit with your feet on a block or if they're rack pulls from the power rack. That's all up to you, and that changes every week, but you always max out on those days. Same with the upper body max effort days. It's a bench press variation, whether it's incline, decline, close grip, wide grip, whatever. That's up to you, but you're always maxing every week. So you have 2 of those days, and then you have 2 what are called dynamic effort days. So those, it's a lighter weight of a squat or bench variation or deadlift variation. 50 to 60% of your max. And you do multiple sets, low reps, so like 10 reps or 10 sets of 3 reps, but explosive, so it's as fast as you can to help build that explosive strength when you're lifting those heavy weights, because you want to move them as fast as you can. So those are the 2 other days. So it's a 4-day split, 2 max effort and 2 dynamic effort days, spaced apart. After each of those main lifts on those days, you do accessory stuff. So for your squat, you're going to do a lot of hamstring stuff. I'll be doing a lot of hamstring, glute, low back on those days, and then upper body is going to be a lot of triceps for bench press, upper back work, all that stuff to help improve those lifts. But also accessory stuff to help develop my physique for when I step on stage. So there's 1 day a week where I will be doing, call it weak point training. I posted a video on it a day or 2 ago. Basically that's just typical bodybuilding stuff, you know, a couple sets, 10, 12 reps, but hitting the muscle groups that I feel need improvement, which specifically my triceps, my shoulders, the outside of my shoulders to make me give that, you know, that V taper, that wide, broad shoulder look, and my calves. So those 3 muscle groups will be hit a lot. Like I think my triceps are like 3 days a week, the 2 upper body days plus the weak point day. So hopefully that'll help, you know, fill my arms out. And who doesn't want big arms? So that's the game plan there. So looking at 2016, April, I think will be the first time I step on stage again, and I think it's an OPA show, so Ontario Physique Association, which is the feeder into you know, the Canadian Bodybuilding Federation, the International Federation of Bodybuilding. That's the stepping stone up the ladder. So that's April. I think May is a UFE show I want to do in Coburg. And then since I placed second in the UFE show a couple weeks ago, I qualified for their next level, which is Elite. So there's like the basic level, Elite, and then Pro. So I've made it up the second tier to Elite. So that is UFE Showdown in London, I believe. I think that's in June. And then July is the powerlifting. And then kind of based on how those earlier shows go, we'll kind of determine what happens later in the year. So if I qualify for, you know, a national or regional competition with the OPA, I'll probably look towards that near the end of the year. And then UFE World Championships is always in November, so that'll be on the radar as well. So that's the game plan for 2016, guys. I hope you've enjoyed kind of me filling you in on everything. So little recap. Building stage, I'm not going crazy on the hardcore bulk. I don't want to get up any higher than 165. I want to maintain this 160. So as of tomorrow, I will be using my FitnessPal, my calorie tracker app to make sure all my macros are hit. Everything's, you know, by the books. Training heavy every week, hitting a max every week. So you'll see a lot of personal records being hit in the squat, deadlift, and bench every week. And then you'll see some weak point training stuff. And hopefully, by the time I step on stage again, there will be progress made. And then by July, when I do the powerlifting, hopefully the numbers have gone up. So that's that, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.